Bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In today's lesson, as I promised you, I would like to show you how we can create a transmission tower. I promised you before more than 1 month to make a video, but I was too busy, so I couldn't make the video. So let's go to our project or our tutorial. We see like I have these lines for this transmission tower. It's a 2D AutoCAD or just lines, 3D lines with AutoCAD, and we will change these one to 3D elements. But before I start, I want to show you. I don't want to and talk about how we can create this one because it's just a 2D AutoCAD, or you can make with AutoCAD. But I will show you some tips for this one. Like this, you can just start like this. How we could do. First of all, we could take the underneath diameter, which distance, sorry, diameter distance, this distance. Okay, it's up to you, it's up to your design, but let me show you something. We make a rectangle, so REC for making rectangles, space, just one click, and after that select the dimensions here. So it's D on keyboard, and after that let's say 1500, or even we can 2000 millimeters by 2000 millimeters. So just click again. After that, make another rectangle from anywhere. Just click here, and again the same procedure, D for dimensions. So at this time, let's say 750 by 750, and just click. So I will put this rectangle in the middle of this big rectangle. How? Just M for move, shift right click, midpoint between 2 points, because I want to select the midpoint of the rectangle, this point and this point, you see. And after that, where I want, what is the location that I want to move it to? It's the midpoint of this big rectangle. So again, shift right click, midpoint between 2 points, click this point and this point. As you see, it's like this. After that, just click here and M for move it by a distance, or how much you have, I don't know. Let's say we have 3000 or 4000. It's up to you, no problem. After that, what we make, as you see here, we have two rectangles like this. So we will connect this edge to others. I can draw everything here, but because of these four are the same, 1 2 3 4, these four legs are same, so I can make one, and after that copy the rest. Okay, so again, let's say our design from this point to this middle point, and from this point to this middle point. So that's great, and that's great. I can delete these lines because I want to copy it later. Okay, so that's great. How I can make these lines? Let me just delete this one first. How I can make these lines? For example, let's say I can with parallel or any kind of snaps, but I want to be from a distance. So just click here and click divide. So we want to divide this line to some segments. Select object to divide. This one. How many numbers do you have to divide? Let's say we want 7 pieces, just like this. Maybe you don't see the points like this, and the solution is very easy for that. Just P type, write P type on keyboard, just click P type here, as you see, P type. After that you can change it, you can, and by default it's like this. By default it's like this. You cannot see things, but when you write down P type, just click it, and you can change it for anyone you want. For example, this one, it's up to you, no problem. Okay, so after that, what we have to do, we have to connect, or let's say our design is connect this one perpendicular to this line, and again perpendicular to this line, and after that connect this one to make a rectangle. Here the same procedure, midpoint, just like this. Again, just like this, and for the rest is the same thing. So it's just drawing lines, not else. Every engineer should know how he can draw with AutoCAD, because it's the most important program in engineering. Okay, that's very good. After that, if we look at our transmission tower, you see what you can see. You can see every these points connect to the bottom. Let's say from here it's more clear, from this point to the bottom of that one. So just bring it, make lines from this point to this point, and from this point to this point, from this point to this point, from this point to this point. Again, is everything is now, I think, is clear, and it's up to our design. Maybe our design is not enough like this, we have to make more supports, but I don't know. It's just like this. You see, we have this truss, like a truss. Okay, so we can just select everything and copy it to the other, or mirror it. We want to just copy this one by mirror, or by any other ways we can use it, no problem. Let's go to top view first, select everything, MI for mirror from this point, just like this, and this time MI for mirror to the other direction. And as you see now, we have this underneath one, and for the rest of the parts, again you can use the same procedure, or whatever you have. For example, you can, if you go to this side view, you can make this one, and after that mirror to the top, and mirrors and mirrors, and just like this. Or you can do it another two rectangles, this one and this one, and after that copy or place it each one on the top of the other, and finally you get the shape of your type. Now we don't need any more, for example, P type for point type, and we can change it back to that one, and you see here you can do it, or you can use any other design, no problem. So let's go to advanced steel, so as not to waste our time. Okay, I don't want to save this one. From this one, how we can create a good jobs in advanced, or a good things in advanced steel. As we know, we have a good thing in advanced steel. We can just click it and change from line to beam, beam from lines. Okay, so we can change. Do we want to delete the source object, yes or not? Let's say yes, so as not to be too crowded our project. and after that it will change everything, every single lines to a beam. It doesn't matter how much is yeah. For now, what we want to use angles. From angles, as you see here, everything changed to angles. The type of angles, of course, we have many or more than one type. As you see here, angle equal 30 by 30, which is 3 centimeters. We can say it's up to our design. We can say 5 by 5, and after that change the one that we want. For example, yeah, let's leave it as it is for now. And for the main, we can change the main one, this one, and the rest. For example, if we have this as the main, let's adjust only this one. Again, it's I every time repeat this time that it's up to our design. It is up to our design. After that, after we select this for right click, advanced properties, we can change this one to something like 75 by 75, so to be more powerful. And as you see here, we have many problems with this one. We can fix every single problems with that. For example, we have to change, we have to select these four lines, and sorry, as you see here, we have to change these lines and change its orientation or rotation. You see here, I think we have no, even this one is not correct. No problem, we will fix every single lines, and right click advanced properties. We have to go to positioning and select this one so as to be the this red line, which is the system line, to be at the corners. And after that, we can just rotate this one by 135 degree. As you see now, I think this problem fixed. Yeah, this problem fixed. And for the rest, we for example, for this one, we have to change it to change it back. No problem. Let's say again, or before everything, we can select everything, right click advanced properties. From positioning, we can just click it here so as to be at the corner for everyone. Now I think it's much better. Yeah, so it's very good. Again, we sometimes we need change this angle for these lines as to be like perpendicular to this one. We can change by a small amount, no problem. If we say 2 degrees or 5 degrees, maybe 10 degrees, so it's you can just put I'm sorry again, yeah, here, and after that we can change this line is and again this one we have to change their orientation. If we have some small lines, we can for example, this small beam, we can join the beams together. Go to top view and just right click advanced properties and go to positioning. From mirroring this one, 45 or minus 130 It's the angle. What's the angle that we want? For example, this one I think is correct. Yeah, so this angle is correct, and for this one again, just close it, select these two angles, right click, advanced joint properties. It's the same thing, but I think for this one is correct, but for this one not. So just positioning. I think now is correct. What we can do, we can just click from here, or make angles, or the main connection. We have splices. We have to change the rest of it, because if I change everything, it will need some time. But by the way, I can, as you see, I have everything is symmetric. I can just modify one part. It means modify this part and this small part, and after that let's go to up. Yeah, so we can modify only this part, this far from this point, and this part. After that, just by mirroring how we mirrored before with to the lines, we can just mirror. So it's much easier to modify only this part. We learned how we can modify it, so it doesn't need more points, more time. As we said, we can change this one. After that, modeling, and for this one, what we have, or what we could do. We have from connection valves, about the connections, how we can connect these lines. We have direct bolt. I don't know if I put in favors. I don't know if it's here or maybe here. I think it's here. Maybe here. No, I just put it in my favorite joints, but we can see. I think here. Yeah, from here, from general bracing, we have direct bolt. So just click direct bolt, and click the first beam, space, second beam, space, and make the bolts. Where is it? It's 8 millimeters. Sorry, 10 millimeters maybe, or 12 millimeters. I don't know where is it. Where's this bolt? It changed these two lines again, these two beams again. Yeah, now it's okay. So where's our direct bolt? We can use also we can use another technique, which is from here. From here we can just click these two lines, but first we have to change the UCS. But let's go to where's advanced filter palette. So from UCS we can use from this point to this point and to this point. As you see, now we have a UCS like this. We learned before in our videos. You can just make like this, and after that rotate 2 times by Z axis to be our UCS is like this. Anyhow, for now, and you can just select these two objects and make a bolt from a point, from which point you can just click in the middle of these two lines by shift right click and midpoint between 2 points, for example between this point and this point. As you see now, we connect this one, so just change to 1 by 1, and for the millimeters change to 10 or something like this. Is up to design. And from this bolt, if we select uni, and if you want you can change 12 millimeters, and if it's not good for you, you can just move it by something like 15, and you see now it's whole. We have hold into these two objects, but here we have some problem, and sometimes we want to feature this one and cut this one. We can do it. Or sometimes what we do, we just click here, right click, advanced properties, just rotate it by 90 degree, or just like this. We can put it like this because we cannot put everything in the inside. We can put some inside and some outside, and also we can make from the features, we can shorten this beam by something like maybe how much we have, 0 for example, and you see it shorten like this at UCS because it's shortening at UCS, but just click here and you can use UCS just like this. Change it, so change UCS first, rotate 1 time by Y axis, as you see like this, and now you can use this shortening at UCS, and you see now from my, let's say 10 and reference 10, so as you see reference 10. If you want with an angle, you can just give it this dimension, or you can say minus 20, let's say. It will cut with angle. Yeah, it's just like, or you can just make 0 this one, and it will cut straight. It will cut straight. Or you can say minus 100, for example, minus 50. Yeah, it will be like this, minus 50. It will cut this with angles. Anyhow, it's up to you, up to your design and up to your space. And let's try one more time. Try direct bolt. I don't know why it'll it not well. I don't know why direct bolt not work. There's some problems. I don't know why. Of course, I don't know. I don't know what's the problem. Anyhow, if we want to hide this feature, there's two way. Just we can click here and change back the display type. Just click here and click standard again, it will go. Or we can hide the layer from we can hide a layer from what, from layers. And sometimes this line we make is more than 6 meters, and just click by clicking. As you see, this roll of this one, what's the length? The length is too much now because we don't have this, so we have to make splices. As you see, this list, I have a tutorial about that one, how you can add some things. For example, length is length, white, and material for this one. You can just check out that one also. Overlapping angle, we have overlapping angle, we have overlapping flat, and for this one, and just let me make a splice first. Split beams, let's say from which point, from this point, let's say, and first select the beam. Yeah, so we have from this point, it should be in the middle, not in this place, but anyhow. Select this point, and or just join these two beams again, merge beams, and from here let's this point, how we can select this point. I can select midpoint between 2 points, so midpoint between 2 points, between this point and this point, let's say. And you see here now our splice is here. We have to make a splice joint for this one. Okay, so we said that we have to change or we have to make a splice here. As we know, this is splice joint, so go to joint, splice joint, and select this one first and this one second. As you see, we have two things. We can or advanced still consider this one web, and this is flange. So go to web, and the bolts, as you see, this distance from the top is 40. So we want to make this distance, let's say 10 millimeters, no problem. And about the web distances, we have everything is 40 is a lot. We first, let me change the bolt to something like 10 millimeters, and the numbers 1 as you see, 1 by 1, and this one maybe 1 is enough, or let's say this 2 and this is 2 by 2. And about the plate here, web plates, we don't want to be 10 millimeters. I think it's 4 or 5 millimeters is enough. 5 millimeters, let's say. Type of connection is both bolted. We have this one, and about the distance is a lot. We have 40. We don't need 40 here. The distances is clear. This one is from this point to this point, so the number 1 and the number 6 is the same. So let's say to be 25 millimeters, and the number 6 is 25 millimeters, just like this. And number 4, where's number 4? These distances, or number 3, from this point to this point, it doesn't matter. 60 millimeters is a lot. 40 I think is enough, and this one 40 is enough. And to the other side, And number 4 again, 25 is enough, as you see. Now I think is good. Or we can change this one to something 50, and again this one to 50. It's up to our design. And we can change this one instead of 2 to 3, and this one again to 3. And the plate we can change anytime we want. For the flange, again the same thing. The distance, plate thickness is 5 millimeters, but here we have both welded. We can change it to both bolted, and we will change this distance, don't worry about it. Bolts on top flange, 10 millimeters, and 2 by 2 number of the beam 1, and we can change the, or we have to change this one to the same thing. I don't know which one I selected, but the uni I think is okay. The type of the bolt top flange, as you see you have these distances. It should be the same of this one, or bolt rows you have. So we want to change these distances. Bolt flange top, we have 2. Number of rows we have 1. If we change this one, you see the difference. So just leave it as 2. I forgot these distances. I think 25 is okay. We said this 50, and this 25, 25, 50, 25. The number is 3 by 3. We have this one both welded. Here we have the distances. You see, number 4 because it's web, so it gives us two bolts. The bolt type, number of rows we have. How many rows we have? We have only 1 row, so I think we have to change to 1 weld to bolt, or both welded as before. The dimensions, plate width, this is the dimension of the bolt. If we change to both welded, again what we want, flange top. As it work as a flange, so we have for bottom. I'm seeking for something. I couldn't find it. This is the gauge distance. Let's say 40. So I think there's no these options that we could do this one, or I duplicate this one. There's no these options that we could use only 1 row, so we change our connection, no problem. We can change to splice with plate. So okay, I think we can use another joint. Sorry, we can use overlapping angles. Just click this one and this one. You can just by overlapping this one, you can make your connection. For the rows, bolt, column, and stranger. Intermediate distance we have 75. Edge distance from main we can just say 40 by 40. I think is enough. Bolt parameters, let's say 12 millimeters, and here from bolt rows, it's from the gauge 1. We can change it to the center, so it goes at the center. 75 we can change it to 50, the distance between the two. Here this one you have, we can just extend it to make it 0. And the size we can just change to 0, no problem. Bolt parameters, what we have, again we can straight our bolts is not so as not to be with the same line. We can just say group 1, make like this. I think this is good. And if you have any suggestions for any like this connections, and or it's a better connection, don't forget to comment below. Comment me below. I will be thankful for that. As you see here, here the connections we have. This connection, what we can do, we can just change this one or make a connection for that one, or with plates. I prepared some pictures for this. I will show you the connection and the pictures. This is one of the pictures of the tower. I downloaded. You can, it's just by direct bolt. It's here overlapping angle. This is direct bolt. This one splice with splice connections with plates. Here we have multi bolt connections, which is a gusset plate here inside in the middle. Here we have plates also spliced with plate like this shape, and we have this plate for this angle. And we have, this is the connection to bottom connections. We have this one, we can put our foundation and take or make a connection here. After that, plate here, you can continue with these beams. And if we make another connection, which is which one, this connection, you see there's a lot of connections here. Of course we have to change these beams like this, or sometimes we can use another features, because we have a large beam here, so we change this one to change its section to maybe 75 by 75, and about its position, let's say 90 degree for both of them if it's 90, and because it's one opposite other, I will change if it is 90, yeah, change just like this. And from now I can make the connection between these two, 3 beams by using bracing. You have we can select 3 bracings at the bottom, one to another one also, for the top also 3 bracings. And there's a connection of splice by plates. I couldn't find it now, but I did before. Anyhow, no problem. And this we can this is how we can continue the connections. I don't want to make this video too long. everything. For example, here you don't want these, you can just select this one so as to be, and advanced properties, change its position by 90 degree for 180, just like this. It's too small, this part too small. We can, if we leave it like this, we can change another on the side so as not to be too close to each other. It's just like this. We can mirror it. Yeah. For example, we can use meta for this one. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I don't have enough information about these connections. So by using meta, we can get this type of sharp connection. Again, we can make some for the small one. We can make meta and weld it, so we can use weld and bolt connection together in our project. Sorry. It's just like this, and for the side the same thing, for this one the same. Anyhow, so this is our transmission tower. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you very much.